Jimbo Khan says, what do you think of the rumors Duke Spencer being CIA political assets to be used, like David Duke publicly supporting Tulsi Gabbard? This is so ridiculous. These rumors, they keep popping up on everyone. It's unfounded. It's not even useful, even if it was true. What are you gonna do? It's like these claims that this person is an asset, this other person is an agent. What matters?
Well, I want to know. I want to ask this guy. What do you think my position on that is? What do you think I'm going to answer to that? Like, and why did you ask that question? Is it because you just want to have one more place where that allegation is spoken in public? Because that's what I think it is. And if you're just trying to, if you actually believe in these ideas and you're out there saying that kind of shit, then just shut the fuck up. Excuse me. Shut up. Or you're just somebody trying to cause mischief. I mean, putting that kind of crap out there, nobody believes that. Nobody really believes that. What did you think my answer was going to be? Come on. If you're either a mischievous person or you're just like a grug-brained moron or you just are in this to get some kind of entertainment factor out of continuing to stir shit. Like, come on. I think the next person who wants to ask that question should come on and ask it on the show.
So we can fix them.
I think any of these people in the chat that want to ask questions where they're just trying to stir shit, they should come on and ask it on the show, not just typing.
And on this whole thinking around, you call her Tulsi Gabbard in the super chat. I think you're talking about Tulsi Gabbard, if I'm correct on her name. I'm not surprised that David Duke is supporting her. She is anti-neocon. She's the dream of David Duke. So you could have asked me, I would have predicted this. And I love Tulsi. I love her, even if I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a leftist. I think that I would be so happy if she won. I don't think she will. I think she's way too opposed to the Jewish international interest. Yeah. But it would be beautiful to see her win. And she's beautiful.
I support her on the Democrat side, absolutely. And I would even say, look, if you were if you're in a blue state, you should register Democrat and vote for her in the primaries. Because Trump has the nomination locked up. If you're worried about that, he's going to be the Republican nominee. He's incumbent. It's never going to happen that they're going to be able to primary him. So I think a lot of people should register Democrat and vote Tulsi. And you can still vote Trump in the national if you want to, but I think we should try and do a push to get, because it's not about, like, and I know she's got other positions I'm going to disagree with. She doesn't have good positions on. She doesn't have the same positions on immigration and race, but her position on war and Zionism is the right one, and it will be great to have somebody who is an anti-Zionist voice on both sides of the presidential election. That will be really good. And also what it does is it forces the Zionists to show their hand, because you can't just say these are liberals, these are leftists, that they just hate white people or they hate Republicans. Hating white people is something they for sure do, but you can't make it like it's a conservative liberal issue. You're like, look, here, these people are saying Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian agent. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. That is laughable. And they have to show their hand when they go after her. And it's like, well, what's the common denominator between her and Trump and a lot of people that they go after as Nazis or Russian agents or whatever? Common denominator is that they are opposed to, at least on some level, international Jewish interests. And these are the ones that get pilloried in the press. And they have to show their hand when it's someone with very good established left-wing bona fides like Tulsi. And it will wake some people up. And so, yes, we should support her. We should absolutely register as Democrats and vote for her in primaries. I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. And the dynamic of Tulsi Gabbard is something that is in operation in Canada for much longer. It's not been happening in the US because you didn't have as much of a far left wing as developed as in a socialist country like Canada. But what's happening is that you have people heading toward the far left and far left and far left, and it becomes more far left, up to the point where they cannot even associate with the Zionist project because the far leftists, they don't like hurting Palestinians. They don't like this idea of supporting a military regime. And you have a dissociation between the far left and the center left, which is typically under Zionist control. This we've seen in Canada happen with small parties, but it's starting to happen in the US, and it will happen within the next few decades as the far left wing of the Democrat Party, people that are supported like the TYT people on YouTube, they cannot stand this Zionist aspect of the Hillary Clinton branch. So they're going to develop their own branch, and it may even lead to the destruction of the Democrat Party or its replacement by a centrist entity like Howard Schultz.
Yeah, I mean the thing with the Young Turks is like, you know, they're kind of here and there depending. I mean, I wouldn't call them far left. But you know, they don't have their own show anymore. Like their show is YouTube. It's not on a network or anything, so they're not totally supported. But yeah, no, there's definitely there's hay to be made here. There's definitely contradictions to be exploited and cracks in the coalition they've built that can be pushed. And yeah, and that's sort of one of the costs that designers have to deal with, is that you know, the third world aspect of their project of bringing third worlders into Western nations. Well, Western nations are the bulwark of support for Israel, and third worlders don't really care about all your Jewish Holocaust guilt and stuff that you pile onto white people in order to get them to support everything Israel does, or just to, you know, or the money that you shower on elected officials, etc. These people just don't care. And so also far leftists don't care. Now, there is a far left like that in America, but as you said, it's small. And interestingly enough, it's mostly centered in places like New York City. Being from New York City, I've seen it my whole life, but it definitely didn't really make it outside of enclaves like New York and Chicago and the big cities. It wasn't a mass phenomena at all, but it's growing, and I agree, and I support it. And I came out of that milieu actually as a teenager. So you know, that's a section of the left that I still see as, while I disagree with them, I still see them as honest people, as good people, as decent people. And so I will support Tulsi. I think that she's a great development.